There are so many positive things I can actually say about this game. I'm not going to start with my good morning, good afternoon, because I started that at the start of the walkthrough, and I know I sound much different compared to how I first started Brother A Tale of Two Sons, but I mean, we just had a soul, not a soul crushing like ending, but man, that ending just it hit you. It really, really hit you. Woo. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, it hit you. Well, anyway, so this is definitely not a walkthrough since we finished the game, and we have literally seen everything that we needed to see about this game. Yeah, this is the actual review, or I guess you could call it final verdict, whatever you prefer. Brother, A Tale of Two Sons. Literally, go ahead and watch my Chia verdict. I do a new style of reviewing games, like final verdict or review, and it started with Chia. And so watch Chia and going forward, and then you'll know the ebb and flow of what I do. So part 1, part 2, part 3. I have 4 parts, and I'm pretty much just gonna go ahead and jump straight to it because if you've been a new or returning viewer or subscriber, you already know my ebb and flow. So let's begin reviewing. Alright, well, officially part 1. What are we gonna get this out of 10? That's how I don't do like a 0.5 for each of my scores. I only do like a singular score because I think it's more simplistic and it's not complicated. Well, obviously, just like the Xbox 360 version, it has a change, 9 out of 10. And I'll explain why I give it a 9 out of 10. So, let's talk about the negative. And I can very much sum up the negative very well. Okay, you see this prologue? Okay. There are, if you really think about it, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Excluding the epilogue and the prologue, there's really just like, it's a short game. And like I mentioned in my kind of like ending video, I guess part 5, it takes about under 4 hours, especially if you're good at the puzzles and you kind of really notice all the, once you get used to the game, like in the first hour, you are pretty much good for the rest of the time frame. It does not take long. It takes, and I'm serious, it does take less than 4 hours. Not on purpose, it just, that's how the developer, and I watched the entire director's commentary, or really Josef Fares' entire commentary video. It's a short game, and they attempted it. They didn't have the budget. He explained that they didn't have the budget to go like triple A, where this could have lasted more than 4 hours. May It Takes Two is one of those longer campaigns. We'll see. Me and my wife get back to it. But for this game, this was his very first game, so of course he had a story to tell. He didn't want to go like too into depth about it, but he for the within the 4 hours that he had, he told the story that he wanted to tell. But it was on the short side. Maybe if it was, if I'm going to be honest, maybe if it was like 6 hours, I think he could have probably squeezed 2 more hours into this game, because the game is fantastic. I can tell you it's fantastic. I played this now twice, PS4 and Xbox 360, and I can still say I enjoy every minute of it. But yeah, I think he could have easily put 2 hours, 2 extra hours, or an hour more. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing in the story that needed fleshing out, but I feel like he could have gave us more, because it was just so well done. Yeah, I think that's the only negative. I know, pretty short. So that's part 2. Now let's move to part 3, the positive. Love talking about the positive. Alright, I'm going to show you just a few seconds, or sorry, I'm going to show you a few sequences of where, yeah, the positive is coming into play. So the first positive, so the titular brothers that you play, the big brother and the little brother, or I think we hear them as Nayel, Naye, because I know Joseph mentioned that they're speaking in Arabic, or speaking in Arabic, and I find that pretty intriguing. So even if you don't understand, if you know that type of language, what he confirmed in the commentary video, you do pick up on their language. If you don't understand, the brothers emote so well with their body language, you don't even have to understand what they're saying. Their body language is so strong. Well, anyway, I'm going to show you this gameplay, but yeah, that's the first positive. The brothers' bond is so amazing. Now I can't skip the cutscene, but that's okay. Alright, but anyway, we'll let the cutscene play too. And what I mean about the bond is amazing for the really kind of 4-hour run. You understand the brothers' archetypes. Okay, you could say their character development is not like a deep dive, and there could have been more opportunity to maybe flesh out, maybe to focus on the big brother and the small brother. When you really think about it, the big brother only gets like a significant flashback, while this is the little brother's entire storytelling. But the Sergi, yeah, you could tell these brothers are so dependent on each other. It's amazing. Case in point. Okay. They depend on each other. Their synergy is just, their bond and their synergy is too well done. As I'm getting killed. But that's what I mean. Even though the little brother is weak, he's useful when it counts, and the big brother is, like, show his courage, and then the little brother exhibits that courage too. That's what I find amazing. And it never lets up. It never lets up in terms of their synergy, their bond, you could tell. And I think, and that will be my other positive. But yeah, the bond between them are strong from the beginning and to the end, to the bittersweet end. So that's what I mean. And it translates not just in terms of the narrative, it translates, their bond translates in terms of the gameplay too, but that's a separate positive. But that's what I wanted to show. And the voice, which we learned from Joseph, one of them is, the little brother is voiced by, an unknown female actress that I'll have to look it up in between streaming, and the actual big brother is voiced by, as Joseph was saying, an actual guy. So I find that very intriguing. But yeah, it never lets up in terms of their character development. So, let's let these clips run real quick, and I only have 2, and I'll show you of how strong their synergy is. And I mean, it's pretty strong. And that's precisely why we have a remake. Right there and there. That's why. Gosh, that's so effective. Even that made me kind of... Even if you're a strong man or a strong woman, you're gonna... This one's gonna get you. Especially if you have a sibling, too. Man, that... I feel for this kid. I feel for this kid. Oh... Guess a parent shows when their child is at their most vulnerable. Come on, little brother. Time to suck up and get this message into your dad. Yep, that L2 and R2. The L2 and R2, the L2 that you were missing, it's his brother pushing him. I love this part. Okay, good, you're back. So, let's actually exit out the main menu of this one, and I think you kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. But that's what I mean. From the... It just never lets up with their synergy, their brotherly bond. I mean, brotherly bond, it is touched in certain games, like, let's just say Uncharted, like, between Nathan and Samuel, but it's not done to this, like, painstakingly, like, actual brothers. And yeah, consider I have a brother myself, yeah, this is pretty accurate of me. Yeah, I'm usually playful and goofy like that, but when things get serious, yeah, I do get mature. And then my brother is kind of like the most serious and kind of like very serious like that. So, yeah. In terms, I don't think they got every detail, but this is based on Joseph's personal experience with his, I guess, and he already explained his background. I would recommend check out Joseph's director's commentary after you finish the game, because it really gives you some insight of how the game direction went in terms of that. So I find that actually interesting and fascinating. After I watch the commentary video, now I have actually more clearer. I have more thoughts of what I want to give. I'm very appreciative of this team. So yeah. Alright, so the next thing, another positive, is going to be pretty simple. So, it doesn't matter if you play this on the PS4 controller, and I guess, well, if you have the pretty much PS5 remake, it doesn't matter if you play on the PS5 remake. The controller's brilliant usage of controlling the brothers, and I'll show you. It's perfect as it is. And it never... Okay, so let me explain. And if you play Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, Ah, that's sweet. Yeah, so I already mentioned how the brotherly bond is just amazing, and it is one of the major highlights of this game. But the controllers, the left analog stick, if you've seen my walkthrough, or if you've seen other people, or you've seen cutscenes for this, left analog stick controls the left brother. The right analog stick controls the right brother. L2 controls like grabbing. R2 controls the right brother's grabbing. And it never lets up. The developers intentionally use really unique situations for both brothers. Yeah, and it just never lets up too. They are utilized, both of these are utilized in the best way possible. I think this is a perfect way example, even though it's kind of brutal.
Maruhadi! Ta! Calling me. Nayi, ilata!
Exactly. This is one of the many sequences that are just too well done. But that's what I wanted to show. And I'll let the next clip also kind of, yeah, the previous section I'll probably edit it out too, but we'll just make that one section, and I think that's pretty simple enough. But this section I will definitely show two clips of why the controller and just that the brilliant of gameplay and story gelling together in terms of the controllers, and you really feel it. Yosef and his team stroke gold with the controller the way they did this approach, and I'm gonna find it very fascinating of what they do with it in the PS5 when it's two players, because I feel like it's gonna be more impactful by the time you get to the PS5. But for the PS4, having the big brother as the left analog stick and the right stick as the little brother, it just adds so much innovation in terms of what we're doing. I very much appreciate that. I very much appreciate that. It's so unique, and you don't see it in games a lot. So I found that as a breath of fresh air. So, okay, I think, yeah, let's go ahead and roll that next clip. Super Actual Brothers, freaking push! Come on! Come on! Use those tiny, I guess human. Whoa! Oh, decapitation of the leg. That's brutal. Oh, yep. That's dark. That is dark. Clever use of co-op, but dark. No, at least they see what I mean. And if I did say that before, that's okay. You guys know, I ad-lib all the time, so not everything goes according to plan for me. I just ad-lib. Alright, so there's two more positives that I will absolutely acknowledge. Excellent music, and it never lets up on the music too, and that's why I didn't play the sound gallery right now, because I obviously want you guys to hear the kind of like great soundtrack. It's not like the best. It's not the best, like, no, it's not the best, like, music. But it's appropriate. Yeah, it's appropriate for this type of game. It's moody, it sells the blight of these brothers. It really gets you invested in the environment. It might not be the best looking game in terms of the graphics, but they have a strong art direction, and the art direction is only emphasized because of the music. And the one who did the composing, and I know I'm gonna butcher it. It's Gustav Grefberg. Well, let's hear just a few of his tracks. Here's the first, well, the main thing you hear at the beginning. See what I mean? I don't know if what Gustav's approach in terms of the music was. I don't know what inspired him to do this type of approach in terms of music. Whatever he did, it made every cutscene, narrative moments, every gameplay moments just work because he just took a certain approach. He definitely used a lot of musical diversity just whenever he was composing it. Yeah, and when he has that hard hitting moment, when the Big Brother, and guys, spoilers, but you watch literally the commentary and I put it on the walkthrough for the exact purpose, but you saw me play the entire walkthrough, so you know that the Big Brother, he dies. But yeah, the music, if we didn't have the music, that the Big Brother's death, Naya's death wouldn't hit so hard without the fantastic music. That music hits you and puts a lump in your throat because of how effective Gustav music really puts you in that moment. Yosef was betted on that, and he really, and his team really sold us on the music. Without the music, yeah, that moment would not hit as hard as it should have. It certainly did. So yeah, you think did I prove my point? Yeah, great music. I actually might download it on Spotify. It was too well done. It was just such a unique type of music, and it really helps set the tone for the cutscenes and just gameplay and just anything with the narrative, in a sense. And I know this is going to be pretty short, and this was actually 18 minutes. Or I'm at 18, almost 19 minutes. But I knew what I wanted to say after watching Yosef's commentary. Yeah, I knew exactly what. Strong narrative. That is the other and the last positive. And I don't need to actually show you gameplay footage because I think I showed enough gameplay footage and got straight to the point. It doesn't matter if the game is short. The game, Yosef and his team had a clear direction, and from what he said in this commentary video, this is based on his experience of being a brother, compared to what he explained about his mom, which is very tragic and sad. But they clearly had a vision and a direction that they wanted to go to the narrative. It starts how it begins, where this innocent kid had a loss of innocence from the beginning when he lost his mom, and he tried his best to do it, but he wasn't strong enough. And then it ends with him as a better person and a stronger person, but he lost his brother too, just to get to that maturity. It's a brutal and very extremely sad story, but Yosef and his team nailed the story that they were trying to do. Sometimes you're going to lose your loss of innocence in order to be strong. And that's what the game was trying to tell. Like, even when you are faced with loss, the people, your loved ones, like your brother or your loved ones, will always give you the strength to push forward, even when you think it's not going to be okay, or you think it's just not going to be, you're not going to be able to get on. As the last scene brilliantly emphasized, when basically I'll show you that clip. Exactly. Narrative moments like that, with the added bonus of the gameplay sequence like that, like Yosef and his team intentionally do, that's why the game is pretty much a 9 out of 10. So, with that other count, one negative and a lot of positive, I think that is fitting for itself. So, this is a one-off game, so after this verdict video, I'm not doing any more videos of I'm not doing any more PS4 version of Brother: A Tale of Two Sons. The PS5 version, that will come up because, of course, I'm still going to give it the same score, guys. It's not going to be a spoiler. I will just basically I will just make it pretty simple. On the PS5 version, whenever it comes on PlayStation Plus Extra Premium, or let's just say I find it for sales price and I buy it personally, but that's going to be way later down the road. But when or if, let's just say when or if that happens, that I get the PS5 version, I'm pretty much gonna give it the same score. I'll just probably give you like, hey, this is just what's different. And then of course it's gonna have like new visuals, it's gonna be a visual upgrade compared to what we got on the PS4. So, and plus, I know they're gonna just keep it the same. It's just a remake, or they call it a remaster. I think it's just a remake. They just give us like more cleaner visual upgrades, and they're just keeping the same strong narrative and everything else. I'm gonna find that fascinating. I think in terms of the positive, though, I feel like I'm gonna add like just two new ones because now you can play it with two players. I think that's a brilliant idea. I think, but they were limited by technology. They didn't have the budget back then, as Joseph was saying. So the fact that they have two players on the PS5 version, that makes me very much excited. So there will be a PS5 version for Brother Tale 2 Sons, just not coming anytime soon. But I hope you enjoyed the PS4 version. I enjoyed it. Okay, well, if I had to say my concluding thoughts, just to keep it simple, because I didn't show a whole lot of gameplay footage, because this one was straight to the point, you're not going to buy it. The game is so short that I don't think people would buy it. I think people would rent it if there was an option, or since it's on PlayStation Plus Extra Premium, this game is pretty short. You'll play it, you'll be done with it, you'll probably not go back to it, and I completely understand. Even with the remake, you probably played it, or you probably rented it, got done with it, and you're never going again. And I get that. Brothers is a game that is short, and it can be played in one setting, and you show it to your friends and family just to get a tearjerker, and then you move on. That's nothing wrong with that, but the game is just so short that the developers they knew what story they wanted to tell, but they knew it was not going to be the longest, which it sucks, but that's okay. I think they got their powerful message and their themes right perfect. They got it perfect from the beginning, and they ended it very well too. That's all I gotta say about what's going on too. In terms of scheduling, alright, so like I do for pretty much my new ebb and flow for reviews, yeah, scheduling, it's going to be pretty simple. Like I said, my mini project of doing numbers all the way to Zeta Zebra, that's pretty much, I consider pretty much done. Going forward, yeah, Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, not doing any streaming, so we can actually, I could say, no, that's off the table. Monday's off the table. Tuesday, that's going to be tentative, but I think we're going to go ahead and do the new games that are coming on PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium. We'll have time. Now, Indivisible, I tried to see if I could get like scheduling set for that. I was too busy, so I couldn't get to it. So, Indivisible, let's just say it comes back to PlayStation Extra and Premium. Get back to it. If not, I'll just buy it for like a cheap price, and I'll be cool with that. I mean, it will take time. So, but I accomplished my goal. I got Brother A Tale of Two Sons done. So Tuesday, and we'll say tentatively Wednesday because of the new games. There's maybe 3 I wanted to cover. We'll do 2 videos per new game, as always. And Wednesday, that'll be up in the air. That'll be either finish up new games or not. Skipping Thursday. And we're trying to keep up consistently because Friday, that is going to be, we'll call it random day, so I don't know what I'm going to pretty much do a walkthrough. You'll just be surprised. I'll just surprise you. Alright, that's pretty much it. And we're just going to still keep doing, like, weeks going forward, unless I'm busy. It's going to be still Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, unless my schedule is extremely busy, so that's kind of the gist of it. We're just going to keep doing that unless more games are leaving PlayStation Plus Extra Premium that I actually like. So, that's it. That's the end of what I'm going to be streaming today. I hope you guys enjoy Brother Tale 2 Sons. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. What is the most heartbreaking, or what's the most iconic moment of Brother Tale 2 Sons? I'm letting you guys do some homework. What moments did you enjoy if you played this game? Or if you watched my walkthrough, which moment actually hit you pretty hard? Well, anyway, you can definitely leave that like, comment, or subscribe, as I always say. And have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and whatever time zone you're in. And stay tuned for more video game content coming later, or coming next week, I guess. Alright, well, have a good one.